Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Ryan. He's Pete. We're soaked. It's raining here at FedEx Field.
We are not soaked.
I'm soaked.
It's sprinkling. It's not raining.
Well, we had that mile walk.
Apologize for the delay. The Washington team band just came through and stopped right where we're trying to shoot this. So there, we finally have some people. So yeah, sorry for the late start. The band came through and stopped right where we wanted to shoot this. So you couldn't hear a word. So
indoors today because of the rain. We figured that we didn't want to get Pete's phone all wet. Technology being what it is. So
let's. You have the inactives, don't you?
Yes, we do. Hey, a sign that perhaps Aaron Rodgers' knee is feeling better. I don't know what you make of this, but Tim Boyle not active this week. He was active against the Vikings. He was inactive against the Bears. So the only backup quarterback today will be Deshaun Kaiser. The two rookie receivers are also inactive. Equinemius St. Brown and Jamon Moore. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is active today. Kevin King, the big name on the list, the groin injury, we knew all week he'd be out. He's not playing today, probably best in the rain. Running back Darius Jackson, a little bit of a surprise because he's been used a lot in special teams, but with Aaron Jones coming back, you know, it kind of, and then safety Josh Jones also inactive because of the ankle, and tackle Alex Light inactive.
Hello. Is that Bud? Hello, Bud. What kind of effect will Aaron Jones have today?
Well, he picked a really good day to return, I think. You know, it's rainy today, so they're going to have to run the football a little bit more, I would think. So, yeah, I would, you know, Mike McCarthy said he'll be in a secondary role. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if he's running well, I can't imagine they're going to take him out.
I can't either, but I guess it could happen. I don't know.
You know, hard to know how the game plan. I mean, it's been raining all morning, so the field is going to be slick, you would think. Right now, looking outside, it's sprinkling. It's not really raining, so I would think they could still throw the ball okay if it stays like this. But it's really dark. You know, it's overcast, so the rain could come harder as the day goes on.
Yeah, TK, it sure looks like there's a good chance of it raining all day. The radar right now is all Packers colors, green and yellow. I mean, it's looking like it's going to roll in the entire game.
And hello also. More Jimmy Graham targets. There were a lot last week. You know, a lot of it depends on how they defend him. You know, the Bears doubled him, so not many. Last week they didn't double him, and so they went to him a lot more. I'm sure they're going to do what they can to get him the ball more. That seems to be the plan, and what they've been talking about is, you know, designing things to get him open. But if the defense doubles him, Rodgers will probably go elsewhere.
Hey, Mark, Josh Jones practiced this week. He did not practice the last 2 weeks. He is listed as questionable this week. He was listed as out the last 2 weeks. I just think it's one more week and he'll be back. Not quite ready yet. That's my guess. On top of that, wet field, a guy coming off an ankle injury that's cost him a couple weeks. I imagine that might have played into it as well.
What's Josh Jones's injury again?
Ankle.
Is that an ankle? It's an ankle, yeah. If it were up to 21, put Kaiser in. Oh, if they're up 21, put Kaiser in. You know, they never do that. I haven't covered
would they do that today, though?
I haven't covered a coach who does that. They want to be up. They want to be up so safe.
Probably 28.
I mean, if it's 21 with 5 minutes to go, yeah. Rich Ryman has just joined us.
Question about Clay Matthews. You know, he needs to. He hasn't done much of any. I do think that he was better last week than the opener. The opener was just not good, really, at all. There were some redeemable qualities last week. Obviously, the tough call against him at the end.
So how worried about the secondary? They're better with King in there than not, but you know, last week House was the first guy in, and by the fourth quarter they were playing Jackson ahead of House. I'm assuming when they go three corners, it'll be Alexander, Tremont Williams, and Jackson instead of House. They'll have Jackson in the slot.
Who do you think?
That's three pretty good cover guys still. It's a lot better than they had last year, put it that way, no matter what.
Who do you think the rain hurts more today?
Packers or Washington? I don't know if Washington's any good. I don't know. How does it affect their quarterback? He's a pretty mobile guy. I don't know.
I want to say both teams. I want to say Washington because I think it could limit some of the RPO stuff that they like to do. And on top of that, the Packers getting Aaron Jones back. But I think that'll be interesting. Who affects who's affected by the rain more?
Is Alexander the real deal? I mean, it's, you know, you don't want to overstate things, and it's early, and early with Randall and Rollins, they showed promise, but I think Alexander's playing better through training camp in his first 2 games than Randall ever did, for instance. I would say his upside's pretty high.
Curtis said put Clay on the inside and Reggie Gilbert on the edge more. What do you think of that idea? What do you think about Reggie Gilbert specifically?
You know, there's probably not much difference between them as pass rushers at this point in Matthews' career. I've thought in the last couple of years he had more of an impact as an inside guy than an outside guy. So I'm saying, I guess, not the worst idea in the world. But you got to rotate those outside guys. The one thing is they're getting less snaps, so in the fourth quarter they should be a little fresher than they were last year.
How good is Washington's secondary? Question.
They got a good cornerback.
They do.
Besides him, Washington's a hard team to know. Packers don't play them all that often, and I don't know if they're any good or not. You know, did they upgrade at quarterback? Stay the same? Probably the same. I mean, Alex Smith and Cousins their games are a little different, but their quality of play is about the same. When Mike Sando does his quarterback ranking, where he talks to 50 scouts and coaches, I think they were like 14 and 15 or 15 and 16 in the rankings.
I've got it 34-17 today, if that tells you anything. I don't think Washington's very good, but we'll see.
Great draft, 2 starting CBs out of it. It looks good right now, and I'm really interested to see how Burks does. Like, it sounds like he's not going to play on defense today or not much, but over the next 2 months, because he did show some explosiveness, some ability to cover that they haven't had at inside linebacker ever that I can remember. But not sure how well he'll hold up against the inside run, though.
What do you make of if Oren Burks is just a special teamer today? Because to me, he was drafted to cover Chris Thompson. I mean, that was kind of the reason why they went out. He's a rookie, but...
Right, he's missed so much, and playing with the shoulder that's probably still a little sore. You know, they want to ease him in, I'm sure. They don't want to lose a game because he makes a coverage mistake.
Who are the starters in the secondary, Terry wants to know?
So I said earlier, I would guess, I don't know what you think, I mean, I'm pretty sure the top 3 will be Alexander, Williams, and Jackson.
Yeah, I think there's 4 starters, though. Especially if Oren Burks doesn't play. We've been seeing a lot of all 4 corners with Kevin King. I think Devon House will still play quite a bit today.
But they might use Whitehead, too, though, in that dime.
Even still, they can go 7 DBs. Is Cobb 100%, or is he still dragging?
He looks 100% to me.
He looked pretty good, Tom. Big game from Jones.
I would assume they mean Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
Could be, you know. He flashed in that last preseason game. He had one of those runs where he started right and just immediately cut back left. Picked up about 12 yards, I think. That's kind of his specialty. That's where he breaks off his big runs. He adds a dynamic element to the offense that they don't have when he's not playing.
Hey, Brian, Oren Burks is active today for the first time, but Mike McCarthy said earlier this week that his primary role is going to be special teams. So it doesn't sound like he's going to get a lot of defensive snaps, but
you never know, though.
Yeah, it could be. You don't want to reveal your game plan to Jay Gruden. So, is Aaron 100%? Jennifer, not quite. I don't think. You're going to see him hobble and not extending plays like you usually do. But I do think that the fact that Tim Boyle is not active today is a good sign for his recovery.
I would think he won't be 100% for a couple months.
Yeah.
It's probably, we don't know for sure, but it sure sounds like when the guys hurt their knees, a lot of times the tibia and fibula hit each other and you get a bad bruise. And it sounds like it's really painful. That's probably the worst part of his injury right now. And it'll probably take a couple months for that to totally heal up.
Lamont, Aaron Rodgers did have the knee brace last week. We did not see it today. I would imagine that stays the same, though. I'd be very surprised if he didn't have the knee brace. Pete, we got a question to see who it's from, but which rookie receiver breaks out first?
Well, Scantling's the one Valdez-Scantling's the one who's getting the playing time. So I'd say him. I don't know what you think.
He was the first to have a catch. I mean, he's their number 4 receiver right now. The other 2 guys are inactive, so that's a good place to be. Here comes the band.
Here they come again. Yeah, J.K. Scott, Michael, has been really good, and he's been good since the start of camp. So, when they picked him, I remember thinking, why are they drafting a punter? You know, their punter was okay last year, but Gutekunst did say he thought this guy had the rare talent. So they had, you know, if you see something like that, you got to give it a shot. If you think the talent's rare, and so far so good with J.K. Scott.
As the band is coming, guys, if you can't hear us, let us know. We'll speak louder. Geronimo Allison, over or under 100 yards today? You like Geronimo Allison. That's a lot.
I think he's, I'll say under.
I'm sure that they'll, you know, Zach wants to, or
Burks?
Yeah, if Burks is going to have a brace all year, I would imagine it's in the harness today, wouldn't you think?
You would think so, yeah. And he may have to use it most or all the season.
Yeah. How many, that's a great question, Michael. How many carries for Aaron Jones?
I'm going to say 9.
9, not double digits. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, Mark, Scott definitely is worth, looks like he's going to be worth that 5th round pick and maybe more.
Are the guards going to do better? Michael wants to know.
McCray struggles a little bit in protection. He's a pretty good run blocker. You watch the run plays, he's not bad at moving somebody or getting out to the second level. But my crystal ball isn't working, so I don't know if he's going to play better today or not.
James, I don't think there's any doubt that Jimmy Graham, probably the biggest asset that he gives to the offense is freeing up the perimeter. And you saw that against the Bears. That's why all 3 receivers had a really big game in the opener, primarily because of Jimmy Graham and the coverage attention he took. So I don't think there's any doubt that he makes things easier on the outside.
As for the rain, we can see outside now. It's just drizzling right now, but I think it's that 50% chance of rain the entire game. And looking at the radar, it looked like this storm. It's like a thin band of a storm that's going right over this area for a long time. So it's probably going to be like this all game, but at least a steady drizzle. It's
going to have an effect. I mean, you stand out there for 10-15 minutes, you're soaked. So staying out there for 3 hours, these guys are it's going to be a wet field today.
Roughing passer over 2.5, over or under 2.5.
Oh, that's a great question. That's right on the money.
I'm going to say over.
I'll take under just to be contrarian.
Rookie CBs who will play better today. You know,
both are pretty good.
You know, if you went to camp, one day you'd think, well, I think Alexander's better, and the next day you might think Jackson was better. Now Alexander missed a lot of camp too, but they're different kind of players. But you hate to say this too early, but it does look like they could end up being pretty good draft picks.
Mike Pettin did seem to order him this week when he said that if you watch the film and didn't know who you're looking at, remove the numbers, Jair Alexander might be their best defensive player through the first 2 weeks, is what he said. And that Josh Jackson's not far behind. So that would seem to put Jair Alexander a little bit ahead, but Josh Jackson's not far behind. Both those guys look pretty good.
No, it was not a cold rain. I think the temperature's like in the low 60s.
That's comfortable.
It felt fine, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think guys are going to be out there freezing.
It's as comfortable as you can be for being soaking wet, Pete.
We were not soaking wet.
Soaking wet. Good morning, Matt.
Going to see more of Jimmy Graham. We'll see a lot of them, but we've seen a lot of them so far. Last week we saw a lot of them.
Yeah, Mark, I'm sure they sent the play in. You saw what the NFL's response was.
You know, they never did put it.
They never did.
They never did put it in that teaching film. So,
I mean, how loony does that make them look?
Yeah, that was bad.
If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it. You know.
Well, that was not smart to say.
No, it wasn't. It was a very knee-jerk reaction.
I wonder how sensitive the refs will be to those couple plays last week. They're all aware of them, obviously, and how that'll affect the way they officiated. Who knows what kind of orders they're under from the league.
Okay, guys, we're going to take a couple more questions, then we got to head in and get ready.
No fine for Matthews either. That does tell you a lot. Jones is, I doubt he'll be starting. McCarthy made it sound like it's going to be a secondary role for him, but if he starts running well, I find it hard to believe he's going to take him out of the game.
Who do you think's going to have more possession?
Time of possession?
Yeah, I think that's what.
I think the Packers will. They'll short passing game, getting the ball out fast.
Is that the game plan today? Run it with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, have a good complementary backfield, and to really control the game from the back.
Well, our connection's kind of fading out in and out here.
All right, so hey,
let's wrap this up.
Real quick, Pete, prediction today?
I went 28-20, the Packers over Washington.
I did 34-17, which I guess is a blowout, but I just don't think Washington's any good. We're about to find out. Keep following PackersNews.com for full coverage here from FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. He's Pete, I'm Ryan, and we are not soaking wet.
So long.